Good morning. Today is Thursday, April 23rd. It's our 24th day of distance learning. And as you can hear, my dogs are really enjoying the outside sunshine. I wanted to start off today once again in our garden just to show you how much 24 hours does to the garden. So if you look over here, you'll see the squash plants are huge. We planted them not even 2 weeks ago and they're looking really good. Today though, I'm going to have to pull one plant from each one where there's two because I really don't want to crowd the plants. So I want one really strong plant to grow in each one. So I'm sorry about those plants, but now we have one of each and they'll grow really well. And if you look at the tomato plants, I'm really gonna have to thin this one out too, but right now these plants are so thin, it's difficult for me to be able to pick one from the other and I don't want to damage them. So I'm gonna let those grow for a little bit more and then I'll thin those out too. Make sure you're watering them. I brought out some water today to give them a good sip. It's gonna be very hot today, so we wanna make sure our plants get a big drink of water. And you too. Well, now it's time to go inside. Let's start learning. Well, we're going to start right in with our writing the letter, and we're still on the letter W. So I have my smiley face that shows where I begin. Let's see if we can get 8 W's in as nicely as can be. Start at the top, diagonal to the bottom. Up to the middle, down to the middle, and diagonal to the top. Remember, diagonals for everything, even right here in the middle. We never lift our pen or pencil. Down, up, up. Down at a diagonal all the way to the bottom line, up to the middle, down to the bottom again, and up to the top. This is one of those letters that are really wide just because we have so much going on in here. And although you can make it a little thinner, you don't want to make it so thin that you can't see the spaces. It's important to see the up, down in the middle so that you know this is a W and not just some sloppy writing. So we're going to start at the top. Down at a diagonal, up to the middle, down to the bottom, and up to the top at a diagonal. All diagonals. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's avoid the sloppy stuff. You know the sloppy stuff. Sloppy stuff is things that are floating, things that go above the line, things that are too squished, or things that are, oh my, all over the place. We want to avoid those. And for our lowercase letters, we're going to start at the dotted line, down, up, there's one V, down, up, there's another V, two V's attached to each other, down, up, down, up. Try to make sure that you stop at the dotted line and that you go all the way down to the solid line. Down, up, 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 down, up. Oh, I forgot to count all of these. I don't know if I made it to 8. So let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I did 8 W's because I don't like these. They didn't turn out very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh darn, I'm one short. I'll have to try and make one down here. Remember that this, and this, the 3 top marks in a lowercase w, should all be the same height. That's it for writing it. And now I want you to look at my shirt because according to Miss Doe in our weekly happenings, you should be wearing a shirt that has letters on it. And you should be able to say the names of the letters and the sounds that they make. So I found a really good flamingo shirt to wear. And next to the flamingo, there's some good words. It says, a wee bit Irish today. This is my St. Patrick's Day flamingo shirt. I'm going to do a couple of the words. A, well, that's a word, it's a letter, and a sound. A. The letter A also makes another sound. It makes the sound A. And you'll learn more about long vowels and short vowels when you're a little older, but just know that our vowels make 2 sounds. Some of our consonants do too, like the letter C. It makes a K and a S sound. But you'll learn more about that soon too. Wee, W-E-E, wee. Ooh, wee! That's our letter of the week, W, right there. W, W. And the letter E makes two sounds because it's a vowel. It makes the sound E and the sound E. E, E. Bit, B-I-T. B, B, B. Another vowel. It makes the I sound and the I sound. And T, T. And then I'll just do one more. Irish. I already did the I. R is I already did the I. S is S. And H is H. Now when the S and H are together, they make the sh sound. And you'll learn more about that in kindergarten too. So many new things are coming to you guys in kindergarten. I can't wait until you go. Well, today, normally on Thursday, what I do is I draw a big outline of a letter and I have the kids practice filling it in with something, you know, bowl of cereal or pasta or anything. But today I decided to change things up. You all probably have a sliding glass door or a window somewhere, and who doesn't love painting? Now, as a parent, I know you guys probably don't like the cleaning up. So what I've done today is I've tried to make this as easy as possible. You want to get jars with with a little bit of height to it. I found that if you use the ones with almost no height, the paintbrushes fall out and then that makes a mess. So I would suggest if you have coffee mugs are really well, and anything with some height to it. This is an old yogurt container. The other thing I did to help out with the mess was I added a little bit of dish soap, 5 or 6 drops, and you don't need a lot of paint. Your child is painting alone or they're painting with a big brother or sister, so you don't want a lot of leftover paints. Just pour in a couple drops of dishwashing soap and a couple drops of water. That's going to make the paint last longer and it's going to make it easier to clean up. Now I used just regular paint that I picked up at Walmart. I do a lot of painting, so I always have a supply at home, but if you don't, you could probably still get some at Walmart. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be too many colors. The kids are just going to love to paint. So Super Preppies, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do when you paint is to make sure you're wearing something that Mom won't get mad if it gets paint on it. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is to use the same rules that you would use in school, which is that we don't run around with the paintbrushes. We paint carefully on our surface only. Usually that's a piece of paper, but today we're going to be painting on the window, on the sliding glass door here. So use some common sense. Don't splash, don't flick. If you do this well, Mom and Dad will be more likely to let you do it again. So have some fun with it. First thing you have to do, Super Preppies, is you have to practice your letter W. Then you can paint what you want, because I know you're itching to paint. So I'm going to grab my black paint, and I have several colors, but black shows up really well. And I'm going to put my paintbrush in, and guys, I'm going to brush it against the side so I don't have any drips. See, I'm going to put my paint in, and uh-oh, it's dripping. So I'm going to brush it against the side so it doesn't drip anymore, and I'm going to start my W's. Oh, I got this. Problem is I don't have enough paint. Will it make it all the way up to the top? Nope, it didn't make it all the way up to the top. So for W, I may actually have to dip in again. That's okay. I got a good looking W right there. Now I need a lowercase w, which is definitely going to be smaller. And remember, in the lowercase w, this, and this are all the same. So let's see if I can make a lowercase w. Nice. I got my uppercase and my lowercase, and quite frankly, I am dying to try a new color. So I'm going to grab a new container. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to brush against the side so I don't drip. And I'm going to give myself a big smile. That's not enough. I'm going to grab my other paint. I'm going to brush it against the side. I'm going to give myself some eyeballs. Oh, that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to grab some more paint. I have some really good yellow paint right here. I'm going to dab it against the side and make a smiley face. I may have to do this several times, putting my brush in several times to be neat. Oh, I'm liking that. That's turning out really good. So I get to paint now that I've given myself a really good capital W and lowercase w. I hope you guys have fun painting. You can even make some extra W's. I think I'll make a W in yellow. Well, that's a good lowercase w. I think I'll make a W in red. I should make a capital. Dab against the side so I don't drip. Capital. Whee, W. Almost made it in one. I haven't done any W's in green, so I probably should do a green W. I'm going to tap it against the side so I don't drip. I'll make a lowercase W. There we go. Make as many W's as you can on your window. Fill your window with W's and maybe a cool happy face or flowers or anything you want to draw. Have fun with it. I know a lot of people have been drawing rainbows on windows to show us that the storm will be over and one day we'll be able to go outside and just do what we normally used to do before all this came into our lives. So maybe put a nice big rainbow up on a window. Make sure you clean up though, guys. Help mom and dad out, okay? So don't leave a big mess and go somewhere else. Moms and dads, you'll notice that because I put in soap in the paint, this paint will dry, but when you get it wet with a sponge, the soap will help you clean it up. It makes it much easier. You don't have to scrape anything. You shouldn't have any chunks left over. It should come right off. Enjoy window painting. All right, we're back at calendar. Today's Thursday, so we have calendar. You know it's April, but do you know the rest of the months of the year? Let me hear you say them. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. See if you can say all the months of the year to someone in your family today. And of course we have the days of the week. Saturday. Oh my goodness, did I just start with Saturday? Sunday, Monday, this is why we practice. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Oh my goodness, I can't believe Miss Mary made such a mistake. Now I have my pattern right here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. I hope not. So looking at just our last week, we have rainbow, umbrella, raindrops. Rainbow, I wonder what that's going to be. I'll give you a moment to think. I think you already know. I'm going to put it up. Here we go. If you guessed umbrella, you are correct. Wow. And now, since we know today's the 23rd, I want to hear some super preppy counting. That means all of you preppy Kers are counting with me. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Today is the 23rd of April. But I also want to find out what day of the week today is. So I'm going to put my little today hat on and I'm going to go all the way up and I see TH. TH together is not T. They combine together to make that sound where you stick your tongue out. So we have Thursday. Today is Thursday. Let me stick my little today card in. Today is Thursday. And now we need to look at what yesterday was. Yesterday comes before. So I'm going to put my hat right here. And I'm going to follow that all the way up to Wednesday. Yesterday was Wednesday. Tomorrow will be, well, tomorrow hasn't happened yet, so I'm going to move it up to the next space because that hasn't happened yet. And I'm going to go all the way up to Friday. Tomorrow will be Friday. Wow. Tomorrow will be Friday. And then we can have the weekend to play and not worry about watching videos and having to talk to our teachers. So you'll have a happy weekend after tomorrow. One more thing we need to check is our weather. Well, come on out to the door and let's take a look outside at this beautiful sky. Oh, it is amazing. I think you guys got a good enough view. Come on in. Let's decide what our weather is today. We have rainy, sunny, snowy, windy, cloudy, and partly cloudy, which means sun and clouds at the same time. Oh, I sure hope one day I can pick up this one, but I don't think I can pick up Snowy today. I'm gonna have to put it back. What do you think it is? Well, I'm gonna go with Sunny. I hope you went with the same thing. Let's put Sunny right here. Our weather is sunny. And that's our calendar for today. Oh, we have one more thing to do in calendar. When you guys start kindergarten, your teacher's going to have an estimation jar, and you're going to have to estimate what's inside the jar. Estimate is a fancy mathematical word that means to guess. Now, when you estimate, you have to guess with reason. You can't say that there's one thing in a jar that's this full. And you can't say there's 1,000,000 things in a jar that's this full, because 1,000,000 wouldn't fit in. An estimation has to be a reasonable guess as to how many things you think there are. So we're going to practice that. I have in here bottles of nail polish. I just went and picked a whole bunch and I shoved them in here, and you can see there are a whole bunch. I'm turning it around. I don't want you to count them. When you estimate, you do not sit there and count. When you estimate, you make a quick, reasonable guess without counting. So I want you guys to guess. I will tell you the number is between 5 and 20. That means there's more than 5 and there's less than 20. Make a reasonable estimation as to how many you think there are. And at the end of the show, I will count them out for you. Well, it's time for story. And today's story is The Happy Man and His Dump Truck. The Happy Man and His Dump Truck was written by a lady named Miriam. This is really odd to me. Usually they give their first and last name. This time, only her first name. And it was illustrated by, and we've had another book illustrated by him, a man named Tibor Gergely. I also want to say that this book was made in 1978, which makes it 42 years old. Once upon a time, there was a man who had a dump truck. Every time he saw a friend, he would wave his hand and tip the dumpster. One day, he was riding in his dump truck, singing a happy song, when he met a pig going along the road. "Would you like a ride in my dump truck?" he asked. "Oh, thank you," said the pig, and he climbed into the back of the truck. After they had gone a little way down the road, the man saw a friend. He waved his hand and tipped the dumper. "Whee!" said the pig. "What fun!" And he slid all the way to the bottom of the dumper. Very soon they came to a farm. "Here's where my friends live," said the pig. "You have a nice dump truck. Would you please let my friends see your truck?" "I will give them a ride in my dump truck," said the man. So the hen and the rooster climbed into the truck. The duck climbed into the truck. The dog and the cat climbed into the truck, and the pig climbed back into the truck too. And the man closed the tailgate so they would not fall out. And then off they went. They went past the farm, and all the animals waved to the farmer. The man was very happy. "They are all my friends," he said. So he waved his hand and tipped the dumper. The hen, the rooster, the duck, the dog, the cat, and the pig all slid down the dumper into a big heap. The animals were all so happy. Then the man took them for a long ride and drove them back to the farm. He opened the tailgate wide and raised the dumper all the way up. All the animals slid off the truck onto the ground. "What a fine sliding board," they all said. "Thank you," said all the animals. "Cock-a-cock-a," clucked the hen. "Cock-a-doodle-doo," the rooster crowed. "Quack, quack," quacked the duck. "Woof, woof," barked the dog. "Meow, meow," meowed the cat. And the pig let out a great big grunt. The man waved his hand and tipped the dumper and rode off in his dump truck, singing a happy song. That's the end. This one is a short one, but a good one. I like The Happy Man and His Dump Truck. I hope you did too. Well, now it's time to practice writing our number 8. So I'm going to start at my happy face. I'm going to go around to the dotted line, around to the bottom line, around back up to the dotted line, and around back up to the top line. Wow, that one turned out pretty good. I wonder if I can go a little faster. You don't want to race, but you do want to be able to do it in one solid motion. See if you can carefully, in one fluid motion without stopping, make some 8s. Make sure that you make them wide enough. You don't want a super skinny one. You don't want one that doesn't meet at the top or one that meets at a point at the top. You want to make sure they're nice and round. And I know yours might not be perfect yet, but that's why we practice every day. Just keep thinking when you make your 8 what you need to be doing. You can even say to yourself, around, 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 around. Around, 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 around. That gets kind of difficult when you're going a little faster. Oh, I didn't count my 8s. Let's see if I have 8 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm not counting you. And I am not counting you. 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, wow. I got 8 8s on one line. I think I'm just going to make a few more because I'm really liking this around, 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 around. Around, 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 around. I'm really getting into this. Sometimes you just have a great 8 day or a great writing day, and you can write a whole bunch of something because you're just feeling like you got it. That's my day today. Write as many 8s as you can, at least 8 8s. Uh-oh, Miss Mary started to have her 8s float in the air. We do not want them floating in the air. So I'll make my last one really super carefully and make sure I go all the way to the bottom. And today I'm going to have someone in my family circle what they think is my best 8. So I'll have my son circle what he thinks is my best 8. And I made a whole bunch of good ones. I hope he finds them. Oh, he likes the second to last one on the first row. I think that's a good 8. Wise choice, son. Now, today we are going to count. I know you guys are good at counting. I just saw you count to 23 in the calendar, but we're going to practice just counting to 8. Now, in videos past, I've had you count to mom, dad, stuffed animals. I've counted to the turtles. I've counted to my dogs. But today we're going to count different ways. I'm looking at what Miss Doe has for us, and she asks, can we count it fast and slow? Ooh. Well, I'm going to start with slow first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wait for it, 8. Now I'll do it fast. I bet you guys are really good at fast. I'm going to take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that was quick. I wonder if you could do it faster. Now, she asked if we can do it soft like a whisper or loud like a shout. I think I'll do soft first. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now I have to see if I can do it loud like a shout. Are you ready? You may want to cover your ears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, that was a good one. She also asked if we could count. Ooh, here's a tough one. I'm going to throw this one in. Can you count to 8 in another language? Like Spanish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can do it in Korean. Hana, dul, set, net, dasa, yasa, eagle, yatter. I can do it in Vietnamese too. Mo, hai, ba, bon, nam, sao, pe, tam. That's about all I can do it. But if you have another language you can count it in, or your parents know another language and they can teach you how to count to 8, that would be a fun thing to do. Now here's the last one, and it's the toughest. Can you count backwards from 8 to 1? I'm going to try this. 8, 7, 6. Maybe it'll be easier with my fingers. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you count backwards from 8 to 1? That would be interesting. So practice counting. Practice counting to 8 today. Try as many different ways as you can. Okay. Well, now I usually do some kind of art or PE or craft, and earlier this week we did a dragonfly when I know you guys are studying spiders if you're following the weekly happenings. So I felt kind of bad, so I figured we'd throw in a cool spider craft today. So all it's going to take is a piece of paper and some of the black paint that you had from painting on the window. So if you look down here, you'll see I've got my paint and I've got my paper, and I'm just about ready to go. I'm going to put a blob of paint in the middle of my paper. Just a blob. That's a good enough blob. Doesn't have to be too big. And I'm going to slide it down a little bit and slide it up a little bit. Slide it out to the side and slide it out to the side. But that's not the fun part. The fun part is taking the paper, and Mom and Dad may have to help you with this, but taking the paper and folding it in half. When I fold it in half, I'm going to spread out my paint. You can see it got a lot bigger. So now when I open it up, I'm going to have a cool spider blob in the middle of my paper. But wait, I think I need some more to it. I think we're going to make a black widow. So I'm hoping my assistant can go over and get for me some red paint. The one that's in the coffee mug. So he's brought me my red paint, and black widow spiders have a little dab of red on them. So I'm going to take some red and I'm going to put it, I'm going to drip it right in the middle of my spider. I got a couple good drops in there. And I need to fold it over again and squish it. Now when I pull it out, let's see what I got. Oh, that turned out cool. That's almost a perfect black widow symbol on the back. So I have the head and I have the abdomen here, and I know I'm going to have to stick 8 legs on. I don't want to do that with paint. So once this has dried, you may not want to do it now, but once this is dried, you can go back and put 8 spider legs on your cool black widow spider. I know that was a super simple and quick craft, but if you guys liked this, you can do it with more paper and add more colors and make some really cool, strange looking insects too. And then just add 6 legs, because insects have 6 legs and spiders have 8. Well, I have a special guest here. You can see my dog Chilla has joined us for the last segment. Everyone say hi, Chilla. Every day we do a website, and today's website is something called the Kids with a Z, thekidspage.com. It has page after page after page of free gifts, free games, free activities, even clip art. So all kinds of stuff. I heavily recommend you and your parents spend some time checking out the Kids page. Now, one more thing before we go. I promised to count the estimation jar. Chilla is dying to know how many paint bottles or nail polish brushes are in there. So let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I gotta put you down, Chilla. I'll just do this. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I said it was between 5 and 20, and there turned out to be 15 bottles of nail polish in there. Now, if you guess too low or too high, that's okay. An estimation does not have to be perfect. If you said 14, fabulous. If you said 11, really close, not bad. If you said 5, probably want to look at it a little more next time. If you said 20, 15 was even kind of close to 20, so that would have been an okay estimation. Estimations are not meant to be perfect. If you said 15, fabulous. But if you didn't say 15, it's still okay, as long as it's a reasonable guess or estimate. That that's all for today. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.